Living on fruit for 20 years. What are the best fruits to plant in your garden? I have dreamed of having a Garden of Eden at home with the most rare, tropical, delicious fruits almost 20 years ago, and nowadays I'm starting to harvest my dreams and my fruits. So stay there to learn what are the best fruits to plant in your garden and how do I plant it, what is my collection. This is actually an updated video because I have the first part of the video. I'll put the link in the description and in the cards so you can see how it was my garden almost 2 years ago. Do you want to know more about fasting and how to live a healthful life, or even raw vegan recipes? Hygienic Fasting, Nature Surgery, and the book Natural Delicacies, Cooking Without a Stove are available on Amazon, and Hygienic Fasting is actually available on print on demand, so you can receive it at your home. But I also have 8 books published, 6 online courses, retreats here in Brazil, and I attend patients online in private sessions. Unfortunately, all the other books and the online courses are still only available in Portuguese. But if you want my help as a nutritionist, or even if you want to come to a retreat in Brazil, just sign up. The contact will be on the website and in the links below. And please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, comment, share the video. If you do all those, you are going to help the channel to grow. And if we grow, you grow together, getting more vital, life-changing information so you can help yourself and others to make this a more healthy and better planet for all of us. I was diabetic, obese, about to do 2 surgeries, and I think I was actually going to die really early in life because I didn't know what health was, and I didn't eat anywhere near a minimal amount of fruits and vegetables every day for my first 22 years of life. Almost 18 years afterwards, now living a fruitarian diet for 18 years. Not a fruitarian, but a frugivore diet. That means I eat primarily fruits, but I eat a lot of vegetables, nuts and seeds, mushrooms, and other raw foods. So I have to heal all my diseases. But back then, I had a dream of living among nature, having my own organic food, picking my own fruits and vegetables out of the trees, and now I managed to do that. So these are just 2 oranges that I just picked, but you're going to see around the property a lot of rare fruits and a lot of different fruits that maybe you never heard of, but are some of the best fruits in the world that you must have in your garden. And some of them, and most of them, are really easy to plant and to grow and to have your own Garden of Eden. But if you think about it, durian, black sapote, there are some fruits that are really expensive, but you could have it for free, organic, tree ripened. That would be much better for you, for the planet, for the animals around. So check it out, my collection of rare fruits after almost 20 years of a natural hygiene lifestyle and a fruitarian diet. So the first trick that I can give you is actually my nursery. Why? Because these rare fruits are maybe forest fruits. They need an environment of the forest, so really rich soil and actually some cover while they're still immature, while they're starting to grow. So if you plant them directly on the sun and in a poor soil, they will not thrive. So you have to see them as babies. They have to grow at least a little bit to have a better immune system and have better defenses to actually continue to mature, grow, and give fruits. So this is what I do. I put them under the shade of my mango trees and in big pots with really black soil, so rich soil so they can grow easily. I have a lot of rare fruits here. I have these are marangs, these are persimmons, durian, cempejack, an avocado tree, cherymoia, dates, tangerines. Here I have abil, cambuca. It's similar to a Brazilian jaboticaba, but it's much more sweet and tasty. I have some kale and other stuff here. I have pitayas, I have rollinha, and I have some mulberries. So check this out. This year I'm happy because my jackfruit tree started to flourish, started to give jackfruits. So I just harvested like 15 kilo jackfruit, probably even more than that because it's really heavy to carry. But there's still more up on the tree, and there will probably be a few more during the season. But the funny part is that because of the mango trees at this side, there's not too much sun going into the jackfruit. So the only part that grew like jackfruit was the part that it was actually turned to the sun. The jackfruit tree in this side is getting a lot of sun, so it grew a lot of jackfruit. So here I have a lot of stuff. We planted wrong in the beginning because my father didn't know the details about planting, so the trees are too close together, right? So we have 2 avocado trees, 2 rollinha trees. This is marmelada do cerrado. I don't know the name in English. I'll ask Murilo or send Murilo, the editor. We have 2 different kinds of mangoes, a small mango, a really big mango, a lemon tree, a really good variety. We call here limão galego, looks like a tangerine. Here we have monstera deliciosa and canistel. This canistel tree never actually gave fruit yet, probably because it's on the shade, but I'll try to prune the avocado trees and the mango trees when it's the right season to prune it, so there's sun getting to this canistel so it can thrive as well. There's a huge pitaya over there. Look at this orange, for example. This is a really good example of a tree that doesn't go well on the shade. See how all my other orange trees, they go well and they produce a lot of oranges, but this one doesn't produce almost anything because of the shade. So one of the mistakes I did when I started planting fruits was not pruning the trees so they stay small. So when they get too big, these mango trees or the jackfruit or the avocado, because they go too big, they actually put the others on the shade. They don't allow the tree to produce and to grow normally. So here are cashew fruit trees. I have yellow pitaya over there. Check it out, the mangoes growing over here. We have 10 varieties of mangoes in here. So there's so much varieties, I don't even know the names of each tree. But I planted a Palmer mango if we don't have it one, because not all the trees flourish it, and some my dad planted. So we have pineapple over there, a lot of bananas. We have a pear, we have mamey, sapote, mulberries, peanut butter fruits, and guava over here. Here you can take a look at a black sapote that I planted 2 years ago. Because I didn't know a lot of details back then, I made some mistakes. You're going to see a black sapote that was planted actually almost 1 year after this one, and it's already way much bigger and giving fruits. Why? Because I opened a bigger hole in the soil, like bigger to the sides and to the bottom, and I actually threw a lot of black soil that I buy instead of using this red soil that is not as rich. My dad planted a lot of grass over here, and the grass actually is not good for the plants. We shouldn't have put a grass, and I don't know how to kill the grass, because every time you try to take it out of the ground, the grass grow it again, and so I'm trying a lot of stuff to take the grass out of the ground. So there's a lot of mango trees, a lot of them are producing already, some of them aren't. So here there's a longan, there's several mamey sapotes throughout the garden. This is the black sapote that I planted at the same time of that one. You can see the difference. This is like 3 times bigger almost. But this is not the fastest growing, the best growing. You're going to see and why it's growing way better in the other side. So we have also rollinha and a mango tree that is growing from seed that I just throw over there, because I throw the compost really close to the trees, and I just cover with dead organic material like leaves and branches. Here it's pink custard apple. We call Pinha dos Aztecas here in Brazil. I never tasted it, but I have seen videos. It's really, really beautiful, the fruit, and looks really delicious. It looks like a pink custard apple. This is cherymoia. It's growing pretty well. My previous trees already actually died. But now I do what I said, like open a bigger hole, put a lot of black soil, but I also cover the ground with a lot of dead organic material. So this cover with leaves, branches, and a lot of other organic matter that I cut from the trees actually helps to maintain the moisture in the soil, help to maintain microorganisms, living things under the soil, so it can help the tree to grow. So that's one of the main reasons my trees back then died. I didn't focus on soil cover and soil health. So you have to think about it, not just watering the plants, but putting a lot of that organic material so it maintains the moisture, the water under there, but also to maintain the life of the microorganisms because of the water, but also because of the nutrients that are being decomposed from these leaves, from the sugar cane that I squeeze and things like that. This is sweet dovialis, dovialis doce in Portuguese. And because I wash my dishes without detergent, I collect all the water from the dishes and I throw on the plants. Not just the water from the dishes, because it's just clean water from fruits and vegetables, right? But also I throw the skins and the pits and the seeds. So there's a lot of papayas growing among my trees. So I use the papaya as cover for the trees and to help to nourish the plants in the beginning, because I can cut some fruits fall on the ground, because the papaya tree have a really short cycle of life. From 1 to 3 years, it's already producing fruit and it will die. So I just leave the papaya trees over there to help the other trees to grow. So more pink custard apple. There's sugar cane juice over there. There's white mulberries over there as well. I have to cut this, to mow the lawn, right? Cut this grass, it's growing too big. So I usually press the sugar cane, or I can actually eat the sugar cane. So look at the huge coconuts that are already growing. I'm really happy for the coconuts. 2 orange trees. I have Colombian sapote over here. So we have canistel, dragon fruit, avocado, more coconuts. You can see the papayas over the tree. We have a fig tree over here. More bananas. Similar to sugar apple, this is fruta da condessa. It's also a pink sugar apple, but different. I don't know the name in English, but it's really good as well. I'm pretty happy with this mamey sapote. Just one of the reasons is that mamey sapote is one of my favorite fruits in the world. I grew this one from really, really small. It was like this, and now, like it's reaching my height. So I'm pretty happy because soon I will be having mamey sapote for my tree. So that's one of my main goals and happiness in life. People think that happiness is having cars or luxury hotels, luxury wine, a lot of stuff. But for me, it's having fresh fruits and vegetables from my garden and having health. That is my main luxury. I'm trying several ways to kill the grass over here, because this grass that we use it for, it's usually used for like football fields, probably even for tennis fields, tennis courts. Actually pull a lot of the nutrients that was supposed to go for the tree. So look at this. I have planted tomatoes, but I have not actually planted. I just throw the seeds out of the kitchen sink, as I said. Here's mangosteen, one pea, blood orange, miracle fruits. Everything that you eat after ingesting this fruit, it becomes really, really sweet. So if you try to eat, for example, a lemon, you can eat it. Or even if you try to do a lemon juice without sugar, you can just eat this fruit before and it will taste really sweet. Here's more beriba, more rollinia, and graviola, as we call the soursop. This one already produced one fruit, but you can see that there was grass around it, and actually we didn't take care properly from the beginning with cow manure, with the right soil, a big hole before planting it, so it didn't grow as well as it should. You really should prune your trees. It will help them grow a lot. It not just look better, but it helps them to grow healthier and more fruits for you. I usually cut the old leaves, even if it's a new leaf, to use for soil cover for the main tree. As you can see it, I will just put on the soil and not leave the soil naked. So I have there white sapote, lichia, two different varieties of figs over here, another black sapote, I love them, so I planted a lot of them, sweet lime, jaboticaba, this rare one, the Pakistanese mulberry. It's a really long mulberry and really sweet. This is a really special one. This is fig bananas that I harvested from a banana tree that actually fall to the floor. When they're not as healthy, their trunk can grow a little bit inclined. So when they start to get heavy because of the bananas, the whole tree just drops to the ground before giving the fruit. So maybe this will not become good as it should. This is yellow jaboticaba, cabeludinha, full of hair in Portuguese. I don't know the name in English. We will search for, put on the video, but you can see that there's already 3 fruits on the tree. I have eaten this one only once or twice in my life. It's also a rare jaboticaba, pretty good and more sweet than jaboticaba. So we have more fruta da condesa, white sapote, and pink sugar apple. So here we have a white jaboticaba. There's a rare variety, a lot of coconut trees, a sapote tree, an avocado, abil, that is the caimito, the black abil, more mango trees. So not everything is just roses and beautiful when you're trying to plant and grow a beautiful garden. So here I have a structure for maracujá, passion fruit, to grow, because we put them close to these woods, and it keeps growing and goes through this structure. But the lemon tree grew as big when I was traveling and actually managed to break the wood structure. So I just pruned the lemon tree, and now I have to rebuild this thing. So we have here cherymoia, one of my favorite fruits in the world. You can see it flowering fruits. In a few months there will be cherymoia from the trees, so it's pretty awesome to be able to harvest my first cherymoia. It's hard to grow cherymoia over here, so I'm glad that. So black mulberries, they're really good and really easy to grow. So you can see I have a lot on the tree. And there's also dragon fruits, the papaya for us. Here you have giant passion fruit. You can see that it has this hairy structure that actually clings to other plants. But here we are making it cling to the wood. We are conducting it to cling up to the wood and climbs this wood and metal structure. So it's easier to harvest and easy to grow. So we have 2 giant passion fruits over here. That is actually a more sweet and bigger variety of passion fruits. Sapote, you can see the small fruit growing over here. This was actually a huge tree that I had over here. It produced it throughout the year, but a guy that I hired to help me in the garden ended up killing the tree. So you have to take care of who you hire to help you in the garden, because they can actually do really stupid things. We have a sweet lime over here. This is actually pretty good. Pretty tasty lime because it's sweet. More guava, bananas. Ah, sabia. When you just touch the sweet lime or the orange or the tangerine, and you have to just turn a little bit on the branch. If it comes easily out in your hands, it means it's ripe. I know it doesn't look as ripe as it should because it should look really orange, but still, this is already ripe. You can feel by the touch and because it was about to drop naturally. If you take a look at this one, it's way more green. If you can see it, it's not coming out on my hands. So look at this fig tree, how it's growing way much better just by throwing a cow manure. It's producing a lot of figs. You can see here. I have to learn how to prune figs. That's a thing that I have to start learning, but you know. Oh, there's Monstera Deliciosa over there. I have shown the other video. You have to watch the video. These red bananas, Cuban, I think you guys call the name. It's pretty good. There's a marang over there with all the leaves. It have lost the leaves, but it's going to grow again. You can see here the flowers of this white sapote. It's the first time it's starting to grow flowers. I just cut all the grass that there was around, throw a lot of organic material, throw some cow manure, and it's producing, and I prune it, so it's, for the first time, it's actually producing fruit. So you have to prune it to be able to allow your tree to grow better and stronger. See, you can do it by your hands or you use a scissor for pruning. What other subjects would you want to view here? Do you want to know more about? Please comment below. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to help our work and help yourself, 2 of my 10 books are already translated and published in English on Amazon. And Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery is actually available print on demand also. And Natural Delicacies, Cooking Without a Stove, it's on Kindle. So if you want my help, the link below for the website and for the WhatsApp contact, you can get a consultation, retreats, online courses, and read all the books. It's life-changing information for the most updated lifestyle medicine information out there in the planet. There are 2 orange trees here that have become really huge. One is the sweet variety of orange that we call here Laranja Lima, and this is ground orange that is really big. It's good for making juices, but people usually make desserts with it, with sugar. But it's good to make juices because they're really big. They're not as sweet, but you almost don't lose time resting down orange juice. And here's a jaboticaba tree. So few jabuticabas, it's already produced and it's actually full of flowers, so it's going to produce more again. There's still some green in the skin, so it's not really sweet yet, but if I left on the tree, it would be eaten by animals instead of me. So I want just at least a few jabuticabas from my tree. I think I deserve it. More mulberry tree that is full of fruits. I don't even have more hands to carry fruit, so I'll leave that behind. You can see the guava here, full of flowers. It's going to blossom really nice fruits next year. So I have here a quincan. It's actually, so I just found out that my quincan, a small orange that you can eat with the skin, probably it died. It looks like. I don't know what killed it, but you know, plants sometimes, rarely, but sometimes it can happen. This is a jackfruit that I was actually traveling. I told my mom to keep an eye on it, and she actually ended up harvesting the fruit a lot before the time. So what I did is, I just put like in a box with these two plastic bags. It was hotter, so there's more chance of the jackfruit to ripe. So you can see that it's not ripe yet, but when you press it, you start like to feel a little bit of like you still feel that it's already a little bit soft. So 2 to 3 more days here in the box with these two plastic bags, the jackfruit will for sure be ready to eat. I'm glad that the jackfruit's pretty strong in this sense, that it can be harvested a lot before, or else I would lose the fruits. So you can see that the jackfruit is huge. So I have like 5 to 6 jackfruit trees here in the property, like a soft jackfruit, 2 hard jackfruits, but one is red on the skin. There is actually 1 amber jackfruit, and there's 2 cempejacks, 3 cempejacks. So when all of them start to produce, it will be so much jackfruit, but so much jackfruit. And one of the interesting thing is a jackfruit can grow up to 35 kilos, like 80 pounds or something like that. And besides of that, you can eat the pulp of the jackfruit, but you also can cook and eat the seeds. I'm not suggesting you to do that, but if you think about it, it's so much food. Why is people going hungry on the planet? Because we insist on eating foods that we are not biologically adapted to. If we are not eating junk food and rice and beans and eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, the planet would be a better place for all of us. So check it out. Here, a mamey sapote tree and a rambutan. But you can take a look. There's a pumpkin growing here under the mamey shade because I just throw the water with the seeds, with everything that I use in the kitchen up on the tree. And you can see these flowerings, these small bumps, green bumps on the tree, and it's becoming a lot of newer leaves. This shows that the tree is growing well because there's a lot of flowering for new fruits, and the leaves are strong and beautiful and growing new leaves around its trunk, around it. I actually bought this tree already this size, but it was less fruit, less flowerings and less leaves because mamey sapote doesn't grow as well here. It's hard to grow. So you can actually buy a bigger tree because when it's bigger, it's way much easier to deal with it, to manage to grow in the environment. It's like a grown up human being. If you have an adult, it's easy to just throw him in the jungle and he could take care of himself. But if it's a baby, you know, they wouldn't take care of themselves that easy. So there's the rambutan, the sugar apples that we pruned. I don't know why it lost most of these branches this year, but there's an orange tree over here as well, and there's a lot of sugar apples over here. It's not even close to the season because the season's actually on January, but there's already sugar apples growing on the trees. And a lot of flowering, you can see it. It's really similar to cherymoia. I have a tennis court over here that I use every day because tennis is the sport of longevity. You can watch the video on my Portuguese channel, but if you come to a retreat here with us, you are not just going to be able to taste these fruits out of the trees, but you also can play tennis with somebody or with me. So come along. So here's 2 rambutans that actually died. You know, some stuff doesn't grow as well here as it would grow in the tropics, but we keep trying, right? I keep learning and getting to know the mistakes that I did. But if I never tried, I would never have it, or I don't know that I can't grow them over here. The soil is too compacted. There's not as many rain as in the tropics, and the soil is not black soil, really rich, but like more red and less, rich. So some plants do well, but some don't. Some more demanding don't. So I have here abil, green sapote, 3 trees of sapote and 2 of black sapotes. There's a lot of flowers in my black sapote, and this was actually planted only 2 years ago. So they say black sapote takes like 2 years to grow, but here's the compost bin. I throw a lot of jackfruits and mangoes and banana peels over here, even more when there's the retreats going on in January, February, and July. So probably because it was close to the wall, so the rain comes over here and stay more moisty because the wall retains the water, but also because I threw a lot of compost and managed the soil before planting this tree, it actually grew way faster and way bigger than those others. You can see there's like, you know, the trunk is huge, is bigger because it's already flowering. It shows that it's actually already producing fruit. In a few months, we will have black sapote. So you can see the regular sapote, there's really, really good as well. I keep doing like this, taking the leaves out of the papayas to throw on the floor. So I come here, take all the leaves out. So I don't mind about the papayas really, because papayas are cheap over here and they grow so easy. There's so many seeds inside of a papaya. So I just don't care because I always have papaya from the garden. Some of the trees grow really good papaya. Some of the trees probably that didn't have as much water or was not in the perfect soil. It doesn't grow a really good papaya. But you can take a look at here. It's a cempejack tree. It's growing pretty well. It's almost on my size. And I can harvest this papaya already because, you know, it's growing yellow, orange. If I leave on the tree, it will be eaten by birds and other animals, nocturnal animals that come here. This will already smell, so this is a hint that on the inside, the papaya flesh will be quite pumpkin look, really dark orange. So this is soursop with spines. It's a different kind of soursop. You can see here it's already flowering the first fruits of the tree. I'm really excited to this one because it's a rare soursop I never tasted. So this is long gun. It's growing pretty well for almost 2 years. It's already, you know, 1 meter, 1.5 meters. More small bananas here, figs. This tangerine tree, when I bought the land, it was already here. It's pretty big. So don't mind over here. Here is more messed up. It's too much to take care of. And here I'm worried first in taking care of the trees growing, and afterwards I can worry about them. So you can see that there's always woods around the small trees, because when we come to mow the lawn, somebody can kill the small sapling while it's not, you know, the trunk is not big to endure any kind of blades cutting on it. So that's why I put all these pieces of wood. When the tree is already big and you can see that it's a tree, you know, I just take them off. So more papaya leaves so we can. This is Achasairu. This is from the same family. I think the name is Garcinia. I'll take a look at this afterwards so I can put on the screen. More cabeludinha here. You can see that we have a lot of grass to cut. But this is also cabeludinha, but you can see that it's growing on the floor instead of a pot, because that one over there I grew in a pot. They grow a lot more up instead of sideways. This is growing a little bit more sideways because it's growing on the ground. The plants are smart, so they search for the sun. Wherever the sun is, they're going directly to the sun. They may not have brains, but they have some kind of intellect. So, and they're pretty smart. Cherymoia, it's a kind of annona from the same family as sugar apple, watemoia. So here I have more, all these big woods. I have like dragon fruits over here, and I have actually passion fruit that I didn't plant it. You can see tomatoes that grew naturally just by throwing the seeds on the ground, and this passion fruit also grew naturally. You can see it's pretty big. It actually goes searching for something to climb and just climbed the cherymoia. So I have another mamey sapote over here. More a cempejack, the mixture of a cempejack with jackfruits. They're pretty similar, so they can easily be mixed together from the same family, right? So because here it's still in construction, I just throw the organic matter on the ground and I don't cover it. It doesn't look too good, but it's that way I nourish the soil, just managing the compost to rot on there so the nutrients will become available for the plants. That is a marang tree. A lot of bananas, a lot of papayas, and there's some pumpkin growing after I just threw the seeds on the ground. This is a red jackfruit. Yes, the skin is red on the outside. Pretty rare. I have probably 15 to 20 varieties of bananas growing here. You can take a look at here. There's 2 dragon fruits on the same wood. You can use this to save space actually. So you have to think about that some trees can take up to 10 years or even more than that to produce fruits, depending on the way you plant it, depending on the soil, the climate, the amount of water. So you cannot think on the short run only. You should think on the short and the long run. So you can plant these easy to harvest crops like bananas and papayas. They can start to give fruits in 1 year. Melons, for example, watermelon can give fruits like in 3 months. So you manage to grow different varieties of foods, so you have fruits the whole year around, and until you can manage to harvest, for example, avocados that takes like 5 years, or cambuca, that native Amazonian jaboticaba that takes 10 years, you can be already eating from your garden way before that. And these fast-growing plants can help you to produce organic matter to nourish the soil. So that is really important. Planting, that's why I planted a lot of bananas, not because I'm that fan of bananas, I love them, but I'm also thinking in cutting them after I harvest the bunch and throwing them on the ground and nourishing and providing water for the plants that are still growing. So here I have a Brazil nut, and it's not growing well. I think I'll just leave it be and try just buy Brazil nuts instead of growing them, because the trees that is really huge and it's not adapting to my climate. It doesn't die, but it doesn't grow as well. So I have a lot of cassava roots. You can see here, this is a small cassava. I can show you bigger cassavas. There's a lot of cassava roots. There's pineapples. There is date palms. Maybe I'll manage to harvest date or maybe not. I don't know. I would like to harvest dates because I love them, but I'm running out of space. So I just put the dates really close to the walls. Let's see what happens. So this is a Custard mango. It's like a purple mango. It's a rare. It's not in the same. It's not the same usual mango that we are used to. It's in the family of the mangoes, but it's not a mango, as far as I know. This is a bill piloso, or cabo de machado, a form of a bill that people say tastes like sweet condensed milk, really tasty. I never tried this one. I planted here some corn and a lot of grass to be able to nourish the other plants. When the grass grows, we cut it and throw on the floor to make cover for the soil. So more bananas, more marang. Here you can see cassava roots growing well over here. I don't eat cassava, but I use them for the soil and for soil cover. I cut all these leaves for soil cover, and the cassava root opens space for the water and the oxygen to infiltrate the soil, and there's life under the soil. We need microorganisms. We need a healthy soil, a living soil. So here's another mamey sapote. You can see that it's growing pretty well because of the development, the size of the leaves. So this one will produce fruits maybe in 3 years, 4 years, but still, look at this marang. I planted probably 6 months ago and it's growing really huge leaves. I'm really happy with it. I put a little bit under the ground because I noticed when I dig a bigger hole, but I don't put the tree on the same level of the ground, the tree grows faster, probably because the water infiltrates under there and it drops with the rain, and it becomes more of like a water reservoir for the plants. So you can see here more cassava. I just do like this. I keep like harvesting the cassava leaves. This one was already really harvested. So I'll just use the cassava leaves under the marang so it helps to grow. This is a bean called guandu here in Brazil. It grows a small tree, so it's good for organic material but out to throw on the soil, but also good because the legumes are actually full of nitrogen, so they enrich the soil. Here more cassava. See, I can just do like this. Oh, there's a banana here also that I planted. So I think this is velvet apple. Actually, I don't know, I don't remember the name, but I think it's mabolo, velvet apple. So there's Amazon canistel. It's more sweet, but it's not sickening with so much density, because canistel you cannot eat too much. So Amazon canistel you can eat more and smaller fruit. So there's a few varieties here that I really don't know the name. I have to search for it before. So this is black graviola, black soursop. These are also rare fruits. I never tasted. Here was some pink sugar apple, but I think it died. I have to check afterwards. Here you can take a look at beriba, the yellow sugar apple. It's pretty good and it's growing pretty well. You can see the development of this one. It's way faster than any other. Probably because of the moisture in here, the amount of organic matter, the soil, and the papayas give a lot of shade for the trees as well. So that's one of the main reasons I planted papayas. This is a fig tree that I planted like less than a year ago, and you can see the size, and you can see a lot of figs growing in it. Take a look at these figs. I'm going to have a really good harvest on the summer. So more of everything that I already shown. More dragon fruits, more beriba. You have to pay attention to covering under your fruit tree if you want them to be, full of water so they can produce fruits. You have to recreate the same environment they would have in nature. That's the idea. I have seen these really small trees are almost now at my belly. Some of the banana trees have gone 3 meters high in like a year. Just 1 year. These pitayas, for example, they have probably a little bit more than a year or so, and they're already, some of them are at my height, 1 meter and 70 centimeters. So imagining 5 years, the size of this garden will be a garden of Eden. The trees will be bigger than buildings if I don't prune them. But in this garden, I will do different than the other one. I already pruned from the beginning, so the trees don't grow as big. I have more space for a lot of trees, and some of the trees that keep under or have a lower rate of development, they will not, be harmed without managing to produce fruits. So this, I don't know if this is the mabolo, but this is a different one, and it's growing pretty well over here. Pineapple orange, this one, it's called, I never tasted. Amber jackfruit, it's actually orange jackfruit. They say it's the most sweet and most tasty jackfruit there is. Check this out. 1 year ago, we have put one of these babies on the ground, and it's already like 4 bananas, 4 huge bananas, and with this huge bunch. So you just have to take care of the soil, and the plants take care of your food. There's cacao over there. There's more kinds of annonas and mangosteen, sweet lime, another variety of sweet lime, and sweet tamarind. Because tamarind is really sour, this one is really sweet. It's actually almost as good as a date. So I made sure I planted one. Look at this huge baby. This is how you take off a banana bunch from the banana tree. You can like just pull it, but if you do just a V like this, and then check it out. You just slightly pushes it, and then you have to hold it really strong, really tight, because these can take up to 30 to 40 kilos. So, and this is how you see that the banana is ready, because one of it got yellow. When one of it is yellow, it's already time to harvest. And look at these. These probably weigh more than 120 grams each. They're pretty big. This is called banana figs over here. They're similar to plantains. The banana tree is dripping on me. Look how much water these things has. So people don't think they are alive, but they are actually alive. They breathe, they have metabolism, they secrete hormones. So this is alive. It's the way plants live. They're not active as animals, but still, they're pretty alive. And afterwards, you just start because this banana tree will not produce anymore. So we have to cut it in pieces and put on the ground so it feeds the ground and actually retain the retain water in the ground. So they're actually quite good organic matter, and they produce fruit really fast. They're the best way to start a garden. So you just cut it to the ground, and then I just chop it in pieces so I can use it more easily. This is how we do it. You get like a big part of it, a big part of the trunk. You cut in half, and then you go. This is a mamey sapote, okay? The mamey to have more water and more nutrients, so I just do like this. The inside part will go to the ground and the outside part goes up. So the inside have a lot of water and it keeps like deteriorating, disintegrating, and will drip the water to the ground to feed the mamey. And also when the bacteria starts to eat it, it will release nutrients to the mamey as well. So the end of the cycle of one plant is the beginning of the cycle for another plant. So nothing is lost in nature, everything is reutilized. So it will be the same for every part of it. Even the leaves, you're going to cut it and throw it to the ground. I know it looks ugly, but on the end will be more favorable to the developments of the plant. See, you're going to use all of it. Check this out. Check this baby. Using a machete is dangerous, but also really handy. if you want fresh coconut pulp. There you go. 18 years using a machete, cutting at least 2 coconuts per day usually, and I still haven't lost a finger, so it's easy to domain the skills. You just have to pay a little bit of attention. So the idea of the video is actually to educate you from the mistakes I did planting my own garden back then, because this first land that I bought that is connected to the other one, I made a lot of mistakes, like putting grass on the ground, not opening big holes for planting the fruits, not focusing on using cow manure, and even if you want, there's human manure. You can use your own poop. If you poop on a bucket and throw on some kind of composter on a part of your land, you can compost your own manure if you eat right foods, right? If you don't eat the right foods, there will not be rich poop. There will not be rich microorganisms. There will not be rich soil to be produced. So if you have a clean diet, you can actually even use your own manure if it's properly composted. But putting leaves on top of the roots of the tree, there's a lot of things that I learned that my garden is flourishing a lot more and is producing a lot more fruit. So I hope I inspired you, educated you to avoid some of the common mistakes I did back then, and also to know what would be some of the best fruits in the world to have planted on your yard. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get motivated, because this is actually a part of natural hygiene. A lot of people talking about the fruitarian diet, about a raw food diet, are still living in cities, are still living inside of apartments without vitamin D, without contact with the soil, without contact with the plants, without a lot of biological needs, and they think that diet is only the only part of natural hygiene, but it's far from being like that. So the contact with the trees, the contact with nature have scientifically proven benefits that are actually apart from your diet. So if you care about your health, you should be caring about planting your own fruit, growing your own food, being in contact with nature, picking the fruit out of the trees, that you have a better produce, way cheaper produce, organic produce instead of petrochemicals on your food, and a richer soil. You're going to be helping the planet to produce more rains, to make a more balanced ecosystem and prevent global warming, these climate changes that are happening. So yes, a fruitarian diet and a natural hygiene lifestyle with fasting and a lot of all these other details of healthful living saved my life and gave me the best life I could ever have in my entire 40 years of existence. So I hope to motivate you to take care of your health and start growing your own food. Leave the city. It's pathological in my humble opinion. So if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button for notifications, comment below, and don't forget, I have 10 books published in Portuguese, 6 online courses, I run retreats, and I offer nutritional consultations. If you want my help, just contact me with the links below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. And don't forget, there are 2 books already translated to English, and the retreats can be done in both languages, Portuguese and English as well. And there will be more books soon available on Amazon, on print on demand, and Kindle. I hope that I helped you. Don't forget, health is produced by healthful living. Much frugal health to you, and click these videos to know more.